sign your name right there? You want to sign this?
She does. Mr. Fridge, you're waiving your right to a trial by jury.
Yeah.
And you understand you have an absolute and constitutional right to have the matter tried before a jury.
Yes.
All right. Based upon the statement of counsel, the defendant court will consent to have the matter tried before it without a jury. Non-jury trial in this matter will be set for March 24th, 2025, 9 a.m.
Judge, thank you very much for that. I would also ask if the court would consider an oral bond motion, Judge.
Briefly.
Very briefly, Judge. Judge, my client's a good kid here. He acknowledges that he missed a court date. His car broke down. He's not a flight risk. He wants to deal with these issues. He apologizes to the court for not being here, but there's a $25,000 bond.
He lives in Ipsy.
I understand his car still broke down, Judge. All I can say is, what I'm
On
asking.
Gulf side.
Pardon me? Boy, that's near my house. I could have picked him up maybe, but that being said, Judge,
He could have walked.
Judge,
Go ahead.
if we can get past that, please. You being the considerate judge you are, Judge, I mean, in all seriousness, I'm asking if the court would reduce that $25,000 bond to a PR bond, Your Honor. I can better represent him if he's out of jail. He does have some minor bonds in other
It's already
places.
been reduced.
Pardon
I
me?
think.
I was under the impression it was $25,000.
I have 10,000 cash surety. And that was, he came in and was arraigned by Judge Barr.
Okay, well, I wasn't aware of that. Judge, would you consider a 10% of that?
Response from the people?
Your Honor, I would just have concerns. According to my notes, there were 3 failure to appear in this file
Yes.
for different varying reasons, like didn't give the date, didn't know, things like that. So I would just have concerns that he would attend future court dates given his history of.
If I can just briefly respond, Judge, he wants to resolve this. We have a bench trial now for March 24th. I'm asking again, he apologizes for not being here. He won't let it happen again. Would you at least give him a $10,000, 10%?
Here's the problem, is that after his arraignment in October 21st, 2024, he got a court date. He didn't appear on that court date, had to issue a warrant. He then somehow or another got in, may have been a warrant recall. I then adjourned, once he came in, the proceeding from fair date to December 15th, 2024. I adjourned to January 6th, 2025. January 6th, 2025 comes around, he bench warrants again. He then comes in, magistrate, looks like, gives him, Magistrate Ortella gives him a PR, sets the pretrial for February 10th, 2025 at 12. February 10th comes around, guess what? Doesn't appear.
That's the day he had the car problem, Judge.
Okay. But he didn't, how did he come back into custody?
Oh, I got stopped.
You got stopped. Meaning, and all that means to me is he didn't come down and try to take care of anything. He got stopped. They saw him. He gets arrested on the warrant. Then he comes in and for whatever reason, Judge Barr reduced his bond to a $10,000 cash surety as opposed to $25,000. And that's where it sits right now. And so I have no reason to believe that he's going to appear.
Just
for bond reductions.
Just for the record, he does contact me and I tried to do the warrant recalls. But, okay, thank you, Judge.
Bond will continue. Thank you.
Thank you, Ron.
You're welcome. And the next person, or
There.
I mean, I can do some nods in between. It's fine with me. Yes, sir.
Okay, thanks.
They might be fair.
Court calls the case, People versus Eric Bragg.
And on behalf of people,
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Calvin Hawthorne appearing on behalf of Eric Bragg, who appears via Zoom. Mr. Bragg, please unmute and state your name.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. My name is Eric Bragg.
Date and time set for sentencing. Have you reviewed the pre-sentence report?
Yes, Your Honor, we did have an opportunity to review and discuss the report. We have no material additions, corrections, or deletions, and would ask the court to follow the recommendations.
All right. So Bragg, is there anything you'd like to tell the court before I impose sentence?
Good afternoon, Your Honor. I am grateful for this opportunity to go before the court, and I would like to apologize to the court for my actions involving my ex, and that they will never happen again. I wish to better my life, not only for my new fiance, but for my newborn baby daughter, to see how a man should treat a woman and respectfully and peacefully.
and Your Honor, I did want to, was the court in receipt of the written impact statement from the victim?
I did not see one. Unless it was attached. Was it handwritten?
Typed, Your Honor. I provided it to probation, but I understand Teresa's out.
Okay. If you could send that, I don't have a copy and I don't know where Elon is. If you could send a copy to Ms. Hartwick, let me pass this matter briefly because I'd like to review that before I send.
That's all right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Court does call the case People versus Anthony Ned.
As and on behalf of the people, Your Honors.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Attorney General, 85852. We have Mr. Anthony Ned. Mr. Ned standing on my right. State your name.
Anthony Ned. Thank you. All right, what are we doing?
Again, good to see you, Your Honor. On this matter, I submitted a mitigation letter. I was informed that it was forwarded to your office recently. And
I didn't have to check it. I just.
it was just got this. Okay. So I would imagine at this time there's maybe some more needed time for information to present an offer.
Absolutely, for the people, Your Honor, this docket is being transitioned to Ms. Senda. So people will.
Why? No, see, nobody,
I was
nobody asked me. No, I heard through the grapevine. Nobody had the respect to come to me and to tell me that. Because
I'm so sorry,
I don't like change and I don't like strangers.
but you do like Ms. Senda.
Well, I asked for a dismissal.
I like strangers even more than you. Anyway.
I was able to give you that mitigation report late last week. I did forward it to Ms. Senda, but if you could have just 1 week to review that because the defendant's, or I guess you don't have a docket next week, do you, Your Honor?
I have no idea. It's all changing. I don't know. This is what I'm talking about. Probably, I don't have a docket next week, do I? That Zenda did that, didn't she? Yeah. Okay, when's my next docket? March 17, 2025, 1 p.m. Is anything else holding Mr. Ned?
And that was my next question. I was informed that he has a bond denial, but I'm not exactly sure why. So I asked also for a personal conscience bond because I know he has matters at home to take rent, his car note, work.
Well, but the bond denied on this case
I
or
believe
on
so.
another case?
I believe it's on this. This is the only case he has.
I'm double checking. I think he has a parole.
Oh,
I thought, but maybe it's a different person.
Your Honor, I had a bond violation.
in this case? That was because of violation, must have been.
Your Honor, I have a bond violation report from January 29th.
That's why. All right, so his bond will continue where it is. I'm not gonna change it
Okay.
at this point. All right,
So 17th.
17th, 1 p.m. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
That's And Mr. Hawthorne, have you seen this?
Yes, I have. And I also forwarded a copy to Mr. Bragg as well.
All right.
Prosecute. She keeps texting him. They were out to dinner the night before.
Court recalls the case of People versus Bragg.
And on behalf of the people,
Calvin Hawthorne on behalf of Mr. Bragg.
Cedric Bragg here, Your Honor.
All right. Go ahead. I've now reviewed it, yes.
We would ask the court to follow the recommendations.
And even in light of that letter, and I've received some communication regarding this case from Ms. Polera. It's a sentence of the court. I'll place you on 12 months probation. You're to pay $555 fines and costs, $360 probation oversight fees. When can that be paid?
He will have that paid today, Your Honor.
That's to be paid today.
Yes, I can.
There's
pay
to be
that.
no use of alcohol. No use of alcohol, recreational marijuana, or any illegal substance. You'll be subject to random testing as requested by probation. You're to complete a domestic violence program as directed by probation. There's to be no contact with Celine Benham. No going to the residence or employment of that individual. No assaultive, threatening, or intimidating behavior. No possession of any weapons, firearms, ammunition, or anything fashioned to be a weapon. I'll schedule a review hearing May 5th, 2025 at 1 p.m. I'll order 180 days in jail that is suspended. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Court calls case People versus Daquan Hardrick.
and then on behalf of the people,
Hey, you would need to do the waiver part.
Yes, Your Honor.
You've already got-
Assistant Public Defender Natalie Payne, on behalf of the Public Defender's Office. Likewise, Your Honor, our office does not believe a conflict exists between this honorable court and our office, but if one were to therefore rise, one would therefore waive.
All right. And the court, for its part, does not believe that a conflict exists either in the Michigan court rules or the cases decided thereunder. To the extent a conflict does exist, given the waivers, the court will consent to hear the matters. All right.
Thank you, Your Honor. Assistant Public Defender Natalie Pate with it on behalf of Mr. Hardrick, who stands to my right. Please state your name for the record, sir.
Daquan Hardrick.
All right.
Thank you, Your Honor. I have discussed this matter with my client, and at this time, we wish to set the case for final settlement conference.
Jury final settlement conference will be set for April 11th, 2025, 9 a.m. Jury selection, if necessary, will be April 14th. April 14th, 2025, 8:30. Both of those proceedings are in person. Yes.
it's my understanding that the victim in this case is here and would like to ask the court for a contact the defendant.
All right. And do the people have a position?
Your Honor, I'll leave it at the discretion of the court.
All right. He needs to step back. Hello. What's your name?
Lindsay Hardrick.
All right. What do you want to tell me?
Is there if I read it,
Pardon?
read a letter, read my.
Go ahead.
We all make mistakes. It's what we do next that counts.
I'm asking the court to remove the no contact order between my husband and I, as I'm not able to process the necessary steps alone to move forward, whether it be divorce or if we're able to come to a resolve through therapy and other resources. And also there's an important health matter that I need to discuss with the client that I feel should come from me and no one else. Our marriage is not toxic. There's just a lot of unresolved trauma that both of us are dealing with that we weren't aware of until we came to certain situations that trigger the trauma that had been lying dormant. And now that I've been able to come into realization, processing everything that has transpired, I have a better understanding of what needs to be done. I just don't know if I'm to move forward with certain decisions if I'm not able to communicate with my husband, as I don't know where his decisions lie. The last 22 days have been the hardest days of my life. And not being able to have or talk to the person I need the most has made it even more difficult. I understand the severity of a situation that happened, and I hold that client and myself accountable for the actions that were taken. However, I do not hold them against my husband in the matter that he cannot change. I know he has the willpower. He just has to give the will to achieve the power. Allowing us to have contact will not cause harm or threaten my safety. As long as my husband is willing to communicate, I am. That's all.
All right. Ms. Pate, where would, I don't want to put the address out there, but if I were to allow contact, but not allow this individual to reside at that address?
So, Your Honor, to be candid, I believe the contact that would be able to probably happen at this time would take place via the phone. So Mr. Hardrick has a MDOC hold with his bond denied. I did speak to his parole officer directly this morning. In short, the hold will be staying until this case is resolved one way or the other. So I would leave it at the court's discretion, but I do believe my client would like to be able to have phone contact with the complaining witness while the case is.
What I will do is I will delete the no contact provision. I will allow no non-consensual contact. Young man, what that means is that if she doesn't want to talk to you, then you can't just keep calling her. If she makes it clear to you she doesn't want to have contact, that's it. Understood? All right. Thank you, ma'am. This bond will continue otherwise.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Court does call the case People versus Jeremiah Driscoll.
Alexander, on behalf of the people.
Public Defender Natalie Tate with it on behalf of Mr. Driscoll, who should be present via Zoom. Sir, can you please unmute and state your name for the court?
Yes, Jeremiah David Driscoll.
Fine.
Thank you, Your Honor. Today's the date and time set for sentencing. We have had the opportunity to review the PSIR and have no changes or corrections and would respectfully request that the court adopt probation's recommendation.
Sir, is there anything you'd like to say to the court before I impose sentence?
No, Your Honor.
All right.
Your Honor, there is an in-person victim impact statement.
Very good.
Hello, Judge. My name is Kanisha Pruitt.
All right. Welcome. What do you want to tell?
I want to ask for contact. This has been the longest process ever. We're expecting a child regularly. We're having a boy, and I need his support. I miss him. We need him. I need him. I need him to be around. I know he understands what he done was wrong. I'm pretty sure he won't do it again. And I have a lot going on. I have complications. I still have a business to run. I don't have any family or anything. He is my family. And I need my son to have a dad present.
Typically, just so that you know, I am reluctant to change something from the recommendation until I can see how he does after the first review. All right.
Okay.
And part of that is because, I guess in putting it in a colloquial way, this isn't his first rodeo. So he's been through this process before, and what I want to make sure is that he's going to get something out of that process before I'm going to sanction any contract. Okay.
I'm not gonna, I don't have any parents or anything. Sometimes I have to work, 90 hours a week. I had my mom the first time when I did have my first child 17 years ago. I have to get a C-section. I have to go back to work a month later. I'm not even given a full 6 weeks.
Ma'am, I get and I understand all of that. However, I also have to be aware of what transpired in this case, and that, I'm here with a misdemeanor offense, but it's not as though this isn't the first time that he's committed the offense of domestic violence. So, all right. So I may be issuing a decision that won't make you quite happy. I'm not saying it won't happen, but I've got to see some progress for him before I'm going to sanction the contract.
Okay.
All right. Thank you. So it's really up to him.
Okay, thank you.
Anything anybody like to? Hey, you or your client want to say before I impose that?
Nothing further from me, Your Honor.
Sir, anything you want to tell me before I impose sentence?
Your Honor, I know you said this is not my first rodeo, but like I was a child, I was a young adult when I got in trouble. The first offense. I'm 45 years old now. I'm a grown man, and I'm not like making the same mistakes over and over. Like I'm headed in a more positive direction in my life. I've been doing quite well for myself these last, few years. So, I just want to, say that.
Sentence of the court and place you on 24 months probation. You're to pay $555 fines and costs, $720 probation oversight fees. When can you get that paid?
Can we work out some type of payment plan? Like how would that work?
Payment plan as arranged by probation. There should be no use of alcohol, recreational marijuana, or any illegal substance. You'll be subject to random testing as requested by probation. You're to complete a domestic violence program as directed by probation. You're to continue individual therapy with status reports to probation. At this time, I will order no contact with Kenesha Pruitt. You're not to go to the residence or employment of Kenesha Pruitt. You are not to assault, terrorize, frighten, intimidate, threaten, harass, molest, or stalk anyone. You are not to possess any weapon, firearm, ammunition, or anything fashioned to be a weapon. You are to report to probation as requested by probation, including any home visits. You are to comply with any circuit court orders, if any. I'll set a review hearing that's to be held May 5th, 2025 at 1 p.m. I will order 365 days of jail. Credit 17. The balance is suspended. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you, Mr. Driscoll.
All right, thank you.
Court calls case People versus Yusuf Cyrus.
Alexander on behalf of.
Assistant Public Defender Natalie Pate, and on behalf of Mr. Cyrus, who stands to my right, please state your name for the record, sir.
Yusuf Cyrus.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ms. Perrone was previously handling this case, and I'm stepping in for her today. It is my understanding that they wish to set this case for final settlement conference.
Jury final settlement conference in this case will be April 11th, 2025 at 9 a.m. Jury selection, if necessary, April 14th, 2025 at 8:30. Both of those proceedings are in person.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Thank you. On to the- Court does call the case of the people versus Franklin Fisher.
And is that on behalf of the people, Your Honor?
Ready, Your Honor. May it please the court, Robert Hamburger, retained counsel on behalf of Franklin Fisher, who's standing to my right.
Your name, sir?
Franklin Fisher.
All right. What are we doing?
This time, Your Honor, we would ask for a trial date.
He wishes a jury trial on this matter.
I think so, Your Honor.
Jury final settlement conference in this case will be April 11th, 2025, 9 a.m. Jury selection in this matter, April 14th, 2025, 8:30. Both of those proceedings are in person.
What?
And just so that we're clear, I'm gonna make a change on the complaint regarding the race of the defendant that improperly listed.
Pardon?
On the complaint, they list his race as Caucasian. I think that's probably not correct. But
It might be a lot of stuff that's incorrect, but yeah, that's definitely incorrect.
and so I am correcting the complaint to reflect.
Your Honor, may I address the court?
Go ahead.
Your Honor, this case, the complainant told the police that she did not want to prosecute, and she continues to text the defendant, and they were out to dinner the night before he was arrested on a warrant. He didn't even know about the arrest warrant. So I would just ask if the court could remove the tether that he has on his ankle.
Your Honor, we would oppose any modification of bond. In this case, the defendant grabbed the victim around her neck and started choking her, used both hands with his thumbs on her Adam's apple, and we could not write strangulation because when she was doing the interview with officers, she was too afraid to continue. So it's only a misdemeanor because of that. So I would ask that any bond modification at this time be denied.
Anything else, counsel?
No, sir.
Motion for bond reduction or change is denied. Bond will continue as is.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Court does call the case of people versus Deanna Gray.
Ally Zend on behalf of the people, Your Honor.
Assistant Public Defender Natalie Pate with and on behalf of Ms. Gray, who is present via Zoom. Ma'am, please unmute and state your name for the court.
Deanna Gray.
Thank you, Your Honor. There was an offer extended by the people of plead as charged under 4A, which I did discuss with my client. At this time, she does wish to set the case for final settlement conference.
Jury final settlement conference, April 11th, 2025, 9 a.m. Jury selection, April 14th, 2025, 8:30. Both of those proceedings are in person. Bond will continue.
Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you, Ms. Gray. You're all set for today.
Thank you.
Court does call the case of the people versus Shelley Hayek.
Abdulani for people.
Assistant Public Defender Natalie Pate with and on behalf of Ms. Hayek, who stands to my right. Please state your name for the record, ma'am. Shelley Hayek.
There was an offer extended to the defendant to plead to an added count of operating while visibly impaired first, and 93 days to be by $300 fine, 4 points for the Secretary of State restrictions. Contrary to 257-653A, I understand she is going to be accepting that offer today.
That is correct, Your Honor. Pleading no contest. Excuse me.
Pleading no contest to operating while visibly impaired.
Correct, Your Honor. Yes.
Has she signed any advice for it for?
I do not believe so yet.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
They were sworn.
Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you're about to give be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
State your name.
Shelley Hike.
Ma'am, it is this court's understanding you're going to be pleading guilty to the charge of operating while visibly impaired.
Correct. Your Honor.
That is a misdemeanor punishable by up to 93 days in jail, up to a $300 fine plus court costs. The court could order community service and any rehabilitative programs the court deems necessary. Court could also order your vehicle immobilized, could order you to pay the cost of the prosecution as well as the cost of any emergency governmental services. You understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Do you understand what a no contest plea is?
Yes, sir.
All right, two things about a no contest plea. I have to make sure that you understand. The first thing is it means that you're not further desirous or wanting to contest this charge. You understand that?
Yes, sir.
Second thing you need to understand is that for purposes of sentencing, the court will treat you the same as though you had pled guilty. You understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
Basis for the no contest plea?
Potential civil liability, Your Honor.
And to that charge, how do you plead, ma'am?
No contest.
Now, you understand that by pleading no contest, you'll not have a trial of any kind.
Correct. Yes,
You signed an advice of rights form today, is that correct?
yes, sir.
Any questions regarding any of those rights?
No, sir.
Please look at paragraph 5 on that form. Those are your rights which are part of a trial. You understand by pleading no contest, you're giving up those rights as well as all the rights on that form.
Yes, Your Honor.
You understand you're giving up your right to appeal of right.
Yes, sir.
Are you on probation or parole?
No, sir.
Has anybody promised you anything other than what's been stated here today to get you to plead?
No.
Anybody threaten you or coerce you?
No.
You're doing this voluntarily
Yes.
and of your own free will.
Yes.
Court has been provided and has reviewed Michigan Department of State Police report for their case number 685224. Any objection to the court having reviewed that report?
No, Your Honor.
No, Your Honor.
Based upon a review of that report, the court does find that there's a sufficient factual basis in which the court could determine the defendant's guilt of this offense. Counsel, have I complied with the court rule?
Be more satisfied.
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will accept the defendant's plea of guilty or of no contest to count 2. Count 1 is dismissed. Defendant is referred to Von Swartz for an alcohol screening and assessment and the victim's impact panel. Sentencing in this matter will be.
I'm not sure if this is supposed to be on.
It was set for a special time,
Yes, that's exactly right, Your Honor.
but I can go back to the regular.
Okay, so it'll be April 9th at 9 a.m.
Sentencing in this matter will be April 9th, 2025, 9 a.m. Bond with its conditions will continue.
Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you.
Court calls the case, People versus Andrew McDonald.
And is it on behalf of the people, Your Honor?
Assistant Public Defender Natalie Pate with and on behalf of Mr. McDonald, who should be present via Zoom.
Mr. McDonald?
Yes, Andrew McDonald.
Thank you. What are we doing?
Thank you, Your Honor. Ms. Perny has discussed this case with Mr. McDonald, and at this time, he wishes to set it for final settlement conference.
Has he been arraigned on this? You sure it is a pretrial? I have it as a pretrial, but I don't know. He has been. Jury final settlement conference. April 11, 2025 at 9 a.m. Jury selection, April 14th, 2025 at 8:30. Both of those proceedings are in person. Bond with its conditions will continue. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Court calls the case, People versus Travis Oliver.
Alexander on behalf of the people.
Assistant Public Defender Natalie Pate with and on behalf of Mr. Oliver, who is present via Zoom. Sir, can you please unmute and state your name for the court?
Travis Oliver.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Oliver and I have been playing a bit of phone tag. I would respectfully request a very brief adjournment so that we can have a discussion about his case.
March 17, 2025, 1 p.m.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Bond continued with its conditions. Court calls the case, People versus Joseph Robinson.
Alexander on behalf of the people.
Assistant Public Defender Natalie Pate with and on behalf of Mr. Robinson, who is approaching. Please state your name for the record, sir.
Joseph Robinson.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Robertson and I were first able to connect this morning. I would respectfully request a brief adjournment so that we can go over discovery together.
That objection, March 17, 2025, 1 p.m. Bond continued.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Court calls the case, People versus Kyle Smith Blue.
Alexander on behalf of the people.
Assistant Public Defender Natalie Pate with and on behalf of Mr. Smith Blue, who is present via Zoom. Sir, could you please state your name for the court?
Yep, Kyle Smith Blue.
Thank you, Your Honor. I have had the opportunity to discuss this case with my client, and at this time, he wishes to set it for final settlement conference.
Jury final settlement conference. April 11, 2025, 9 a.m. Jury selection, if necessary, April 14th, 2025, 8:30. Both of those proceedings are in person.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Bond will continue with its condition.
Thank you, Mr. Smith Blue.
Can
Court
we,
calls the case,
is it possible that we can discuss possible travel?
Oh, yes. Send me those dates that you wanted to request, Mr. Smith
Okay.
Blue.
Awesome.
Okay,
right.
and then I can submit that to the court.
Thank you.
Court calls the case, People versus Joseph Williams.
Alexander on behalf of the people.
Assistant Public Defender Natalie Pate with and on behalf of Mr. Williams, who should be present via Zoom. Sir, can you please unmute and state your name for the court?
Joseph Fitzgerald Williams.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Williams and Ms. Perry have been working together and have discussed this case. It is my understanding that they wish to set the case for final settlement conference.
Jury final settlement conference, April 11th, 2025.
Your Honor.
9 a.m. Yes.
Apologize for interrupting you. I don't have any transportation to make it to Ann Arbor at all.
Well, I'm setting in-person proceedings, sir.
So I won't be able to make it. That's why I'm doing Zoom, because I stay in Flint, Michigan.
So, Your Honor.
Last time I checked, Flint's not that far. So maybe if you start walking now, you'll get here.
I ain't gonna be able to make it if you said it. I don't have
Well,
transportation.
then, okay, you're gonna do what you're gonna do, and then if you're not here, I'm gonna do what I gotta do. That's the way it works.
Well, I'm telling you that I won't be able to make it because I don't have transportation. I don't stay in Ann Arbor. I stay in Flint, Michigan.
I'm telling you, if you're not here, there will be a bench warrant. You've got plenty of time between now and the date that I'm setting to arrange some time to get here.
Your Honor, would you entertain a possible adjournment of the pretrial so that either Ms. Perry or I could have another discussion with Mr. Williams?
I think you can have a discussion between April 11th and now.
Understood. Thank you, Your Honor.
Maybe buy him a car. April 11th, 2025, 9 a.m. Jury selection, April 14th.
Mr. Williams, don't argue with the judge.
2025, 8:30. Both of those proceedings are in person. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, all right.
Got him. Thank you. Does he want me to come up there and get him?
I couldn't say your.
I got some people that are. Right, Al? We got some people that are going to go get him.
I was given my marching instructions from Ms. Perry. So.
Tell Ms. Perry if you need to ride, we'll work, make it work. Court calls the case, People versus Zia Combs.
President, on behalf of the people.
Elaine Telfair on behalf of probation. Mr. Combs is here for, scheduled for review today. Paid in full, DB program completed, reporting as directed. We are asking to continue all terms as ordered and schedule next review hearing for June 2nd, 2025.
And his appearance has been waived. Hearing no objection, so ordered. Court calls the case of People versus Timothy Riley.
This is a public defender on behalf of Mr. Riley, whose appearance has been waived.
Elaine Telfair on behalf of probation, Mr. Riley. All programming paid in full and reporting as directed. All term previously ordered and scheduled final.
No objection.
So ordered. Court does call the case of People versus Benjamin Simon.
And on behalf of the people, public defender not on behalf of Mr. Simon, whose appearance has been waived.
Elaine Telfair on behalf of probation, Mr. Simon has paid the program completed, all the programming completed and reporting as directed. Our recommendation today is to discharge from probation with improvement and close case.
No objection.
Defendant is discharged from probation with improvement. Case is closed. Let me just get this one. This one.
Reason they're signing, but they're not coming to Zoom. If we want to do the non-public first, I'll go down.
Or